Generally, competitive players of Dota organize their team into 5 roles: carry, mid, offlane, farming support, and hard support. Here, we'll be taking a look at the carry role, also known as position 1. The carry, or hard carry, is considered position 1 because its role is to collect more gold than the other players on their team. The primary goal of a carry is to increase their strength as quickly as possible. This is largely accomplished by striking last hits on creeps. Whenever a hero strikes the killing blow on an enemy creep, neutral jungle creep, or enemy hero, they earn a bounty of gold. Broadly, this process is known as farming. Often, the carry's teammates will work to ensure the carry is able to strike as many last hits as possible, helping them to farm efficiently. Almost all of a carry's time should be spent collecting gold and experience, so it's very important that their ability to land last hits is strong. For instance, the average pro player will miss very few last hits on creeps early in a match. The only times a carry might not be seen farming are when teams are fighting or pushing. During a team fight, it's very important for a carry to be present. They can dramatically impact a battle, and if the fight goes well, they earn gold and experience from killing enemy heroes. The primary reason it's important to farm as a carry is because their hero abilities scale very well as items are purchased and levels are gained. Most carries have abilities like critical strikes, which have a chance to deal bonus damage based on their current damage, or skills that do more damage the longer you stay alive when near the enemy team. Items increase this potential, so it's also important for a carry to make the right item purchases. Purchasing items that are even slightly more efficient than an opponent's can provide a major advantage during a team fight, meaning more kills, which leads to a further gold and item advantage. Because so much of a carry's priorities are centered on wealth, it's very important for them to suffer as few deaths as possible during a match. Death removes a portion of the dying hero's gold and removes them from the game for a period of time, which can be a significant setback for a carry relative to death's impact on their teammates. A carry player who has refined their farming skills and tried to limit their deaths, and who is supported by their teammates, can become an unstoppable force during teamfights, pushes, and defenses. When played well, a carry can set the pace of an entire match. Here, we'll be taking a look at the mid role, also known as position 2. This role is called the mid because the hero in that role is chosen to begin the match in the middle lane. The middle lane often features 2 opposing heroes. As it is typically 1 versus 1, success can be heavily influenced by a player's skill at landing last hits and being able to deny an opponent's ability to earn last hits. Choosing a hero which excels at last hits, or which is able to harass an enemy into a retreat, can be extremely important in this role. Mid is also a dangerous position to play. In a one-on-one situation, it is possible to be outplayed by an opposing player, or become the target of enemy gank attempts, since the middle lane is just a short distance away from both of the other lanes. Being in the middle lane allows players the opportunity to earn a large amount of experience and gold quickly. This means that a successful gank against a mid player who is working towards purchasing items for later in the match can be a significant setback. To aid in survivability, and therefore their ability to farm successfully, mid players often choose to purchase a bottle, an item which provides 3 charges of brief mana and health regeneration. Bottles can be refilled either by returning to their team's starting fountain, or by touching a rune. Runes appear every 2 minutes, at 2 different parts of the river, and are very important for mid players. If a hero carrying a bottle touches a rune, the bottle will be refilled, and the rune will be stored in the bottle to be activated later. Each rune provides a different benefit, such as double damage or invisibility. The responsibilities of a mid player vary depending on the hero chosen. Making correct use of runes can help a mid player initiate a gank, win a teamfight, or farm more efficiently by refilling their bottle. As the match progresses and transitions out of the lanes to become more focused on teamfights and pushing, each team's mid player is usually the one who is best equipped to set the pace of the game for their team. At this stage in the game, the heroes most often chosen for the mid role also begin to peak in strength. This means that part of a successful mid player's role may also be to provide room for their team's hard carry to farm gold for the later stages of the match. A player who's successful in the mid role is one who succeeds at striking last hits, can outplay an enemy in a one-on-one situation, and is able to fill a similar role as their hard carry as the game progresses. Because of this, a good mid player can have a huge impact on the game.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Here, we'll be taking a look at the offlane role, also known as Position 3. This role is called the offlane because in the early stages of a match, they are usually placed alone in their team's hard lane. For the Radiant, this is the top lane, for Dire, it's the bottom lane. This lane is called the hard lane because it requires players in that lane to fight further from the relative safety of their team's nearest tower. The offlane role is one of the most dangerous in all of Dota. Because of the dangers that an offlane player must face, heroes chosen for the role are often those that have high health and armor, abilities which allow them to escape, and most importantly, benefit the most from experience and levels. To earn experience in Dota 2, heroes must be within a certain range of a dying enemy creep. This experience is shared between all allied heroes within that range. Typically, the offlane player is placed alone against 3 enemy heroes, usually including the enemy carry and support players. While this means it can be dangerous to move within experience range, it also means that because they are alone, the offlane player will be able to earn experience much faster than their enemies. While facing 3 enemy heroes alone may seem like an invitation for fewer last hits and more deaths, early in a match, a well-played offlane player's actions can have a cascading impact on the enemy carry and support. The offlane player attacks the enemy carry, limiting the carry's ability to farm while also forcing the support to assist the carry. For the support player, assisting the carry means they can now perform other important tasks such as stacking camps in the jungle or roaming to assist with ganks. Once the offlane hero reaches level 6, they will often learn their ultimate ability and then use it to push, gank, or initiate a teamfight. If done correctly, this will help provide them with the gold they were unable to earn previously and give them an extra boost to their experience and levels. As a match progresses, offlane players will participate in almost all ganks and teamfights, using their abilities to pin an enemy or turn a battle to their team's advantage. Between fights, they may be seen farming, especially if they need a little extra gold to purchase an important item such as a blink dagger. Combining their disruptive effect on the enemy carry and support players in the early game with their ability to turn experience and levels into an impact on teamfights, offlane players excel at turning the odds to their team's favor. Here, we'll be taking a look at the farming support role, also known as Position 4. The farming support role is one of the 2 support roles in competitive Dota. Though the 2 support roles can sometimes seem interchangeable, what sets the farming support apart is that the hero chosen for that role typically benefits from, or even requires a moderate amount of resources to become effective. Once those resources are collected, the farming support is then able to adapt to cover whatever needs their team may have. In the early stages of a match, and depending on which hero the farming support player is using, the role is usually played in one of 2 ways. If the hero has early abilities which allow it to withstand or redirect large amounts of damage, or can heal themselves, they may choose to begin the match fighting creeps in the forest between the lanes, called the jungle. This practice is called jungling. If the hero is incapable of jungling, they may choose to pull jungle creeps from their camps into a wave of their team's lane creeps instead. Doing this provides an easy way to earn levels and a bit of gold. Though both the farming support and the Position 5 hard support can engage in pulling, priority for this task is usually given to the farming support. This is because the heroes chosen for the farming support role have abilities which are useful to have available early, or they may benefit from a specific item purchase. Once the farming support has earned a few levels, they may transition into standard supporting duties, such as placing wards to provide their team with vision of the area or pushing their team's forces into enemy territory. If needed, they may also adapt to aid their team in combat, as farming support heroes are often capable of assisting with ganks or turning the odds of a teamfight with their abilities and items. Should the need arise, a farming support may use the relatively low importance of their wealth to their advantage and sacrifice their life to ensure a kill on a more valuable enemy. If played well, a farming support player uses their early advantages to assist their team in a number of ways, from map control to ganks to self-sacrifice in order to disrupt the enemy's ability to farm. Adaptable, the farming support can become whatever their team needs them to be. Here, we'll be taking a look at the hard support role, also known as Position 5. The hard support role is primarily about sacrificing a hero's time and wealth in order to help the other members of their team collect resources more quickly and more safely, while at the same time slowing down the resource gathering of the enemy team. Early in a match, a hard support will try to limit the enemy's experience and gold gains, often attacking an enemy to push them away from a fight, or using a practice called pulling, which is done by leading neutral jungle creeps into a wave of team lane creeps.
Yes.
Pulling also gains the hard support some of the golden experience from the jungle creeps, while also preventing the enemy team from earning the benefits from fighting lane creeps. However, depending on the heroes chosen, it may be more important for the position 4 farming support to earn the benefit from pulling instead. Hard supports have a number of other tasks as well, from stacking jungle camps so that allies can gain wealth and power faster, protecting runes for the mid player, and, if needed, roaming the battlefield to assist with killing enemies, which is called ganking. Once a match leaves the early stages, hard supports typically prioritize defending and attacking towers, as well as ganking enemy heroes. Teamfights will often erupt during tower pushes and ganks, so it's very important for the hard support to be ready for battle. Usually, losing a teamfight also means losing a tower or other objective. It is always important for a hard support to place wards to be able to track enemy movement, but as the match enters its later stages, this becomes especially critical. In particular, if a team is able to slay Roshan, the most powerful neutral creep on the battlefield, they will have an important advantage in the next battle, so being able to track enemies near the entrance to Roshan's pit is vital. Matches in Dota can be decided by the smallest of advantages. Having more items, higher levels, or better vision and tracking of enemy movements can easily mean the difference between victory and defeat. If played well, a hard support can secure each of these advantages for the team.